Little Mouse finds a friend.
Listen. Gabby, turn around, bud.
One winter, Foxglove Farm was covered in a soft blanket of snow. Little Mouse sat in the barn and shivered. He was cold and hungry. He knew there were tasty scraps and a warm fire in the farmhouse, but he didn't dare go in there. Entering the farmhouse was a deadly business. First, you had to get past the huge farm dog. His ferocious bark and snarling teeth were enough to scare the bravest mice. Then, there was the farmer's wife. It was said that she once cut off the mouse's tail with a carving knife. But worst of all was...
Do you see the dog with the house?
Yeah.
You see the little mouse running? Can everybody see that?
Oh.
See the dog
And look,
and the mouse?
the mouse is cold. He's sitting next to a candle.
The cat! She was terrifying. She had dagger-like fangs and claws as sharp as needles. Her large amber eyes saw everything. Just like us teachers.
Yeah, like Sean, for example, is not sitting on
Not
his
Sean's
bottom.
not. I could see Sean with my amber eyes, like he's
And
not
Mr.
sitting down on his
Justin
bottom.
was falling
He's sitting on her
asleep over
bottom.
here.
Good job.
And Javi,
Oh,
whose
Sean
shirt is
on her
going
bottom.
crazy.
Oh, I can't continue the story until everyone's listening and sitting on their bottoms.
Keep going. I just know.
Sean, can you please sit on your bottom? Crisscross applesauce? Thank you. Okay. And her small ears missed nothing. She had really good hearing. She could hiss like a snake and snarl like a tiger. Like Little Mouse had heard that the cat could creep up on it in total silence, then pounce with a deadly speed. The mere thought of the cat made Little Mouse quake with fear.
Uh-oh. I would be scared of that cat.
Cats are really good.
They are.
Crisscross. Oh, let's
Cat
do
cats are
crisscross.
really- You're right. Crisscross.
Crisscross,
Sit up.
Sean.
I'm just sleepy.
Okay, is it time to sleep right now?
Yeah.
Let's
go
listen.
there and sleep. Let's
You
not
start listening to Sean. Crisscross applesauce. Crisscross.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you. The days passed and Little Mouse became more and more hungry. Each day he roamed the farm in search of food, but there was little to be found. The horse guarded his oats. The chickens chased him away from the grain. The cows stomped their feet every time he tried to share the morning feed. The pigs wouldn't even let him share the kitchen scraps. Oh no, no one's sharing his food with him.
How would you guys feel if you're hungry and you get no food to eat?
They're not hungry.
No, that's not nice.
Okay, fine.
I would be really tired and sleepy.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay, let's listen. What's gonna happen next?
Look at that. Look
By
at that.
midwinter, Little Mouse was so hungry that he made a big decision. He was going to creep into that farmhouse and find something to eat. Oh, Sean, do we need to step away?
Do we need a break, Sean?
Let's listen. Good job, thank you.
Okay, come over here, Sean.
Okay, Sean, go up and Helia.
No,
You're not listening to the story.
I'll listen.
You'll
Because
listen?
we're not letting our friends listen either. Okay.
I'll
We're
listen.
gonna sit in the back with you. Come on,
Okay.
let's go.
I'll listen.
That night, Little Mouse waited until the dog was asleep in his kennel and the farmer and his wife were snoring in their bed. Then he crept across into the farmhouse and peered through the window. What he saw inside made him squeak with terror. Let's listen.
Oh, Miss Cassie can't read if nobody's listening.
The cat was leaping up and down and spitting wildly. Her fur was standing on end and her eyes glinted dangerously. It was a terrifying sight. Little Mouse was about to scamper away when the cat howled and flopped on the ground. The sound made Little Mouse stop and take another look. It was only then he noticed something. something that gave him the courage to sneak through the cat flap for a closer look. What do you think it is? Ooh, thank you for being quiet, my friends. The cat's right paw was stuck in a hole in the floorboards. As Little Mouse watched, the cat tried to tug her paw free, but she only managed to hurt herself. Ouch! Hissed the cat, her amber eyes glinted with pain. Little Mouse was very scared, but he was also very kind. He didn't like to see anything in pain, so he crept forward to see if he could help. That was nice of the mouse.
Crack. It's gonna crack.
The cat's ears twitched. Who goes there? She hissed. Only me, squeaked the little mouse bravely. Can I help you? Aw, that's nice of the mouse. The cat swished her tail and sighed. My paw is trapped, but I don't suppose a little fellow like you can help. I'll just have to wait until the farmer's wife comes down in the morning. She began to lick her trapped paw so sadly that the little mouse felt quite sorry for her. I can help, he declared bravely. Oh, let's listen. And before he could change his mind, Little Mouse dashed forward and began nibbling at the wood surrounding the cat's trapped paw. Little Mouse tried to ignore the cat's glittering eyes as he gnawed away. He tried not to think about her glistening fangs and sharp claws. He worked quickly, and as soon as the cat's paw was free, "Thank you," purred the cat. She licked her sore paw and arched her back with delight. Her eyes glowed. Little Mouses tried to flee, but the cat was too fast. She pounced and trapped the little mouse's tail beneath her paw.
Oh no, that wasn't nice. He helped her.
Hey, don't run away, she purred. I'm not gonna hurt you. Little Mouse gulped and looked up into her eyes. What he saw surprised him. Her eyes weren't scary at all. They were kind of playful. Little Mouse smiled at the cat. Yum! The cat smiled back. Why don't you come and warm up by the fire? She asked. I can even find you some scraps of cheese if you like. Ooh, yes, please, squealed Little Mouse. I am starving. That was nice of the cat. Do you think they're becoming friends?
Yeah.
I think so.
How the cat helping?
How's the cat helping him? Because he gave him some cheese and asked him if he wanted to warm up by the fire because the mouse helped the cat get free.
Only those guys are supposed to go in.
Yeah.
What did the mouse help him do?
After Little Mouse had eaten so much that he groaned with pleasure, he sat beside the warm fire with the cat. By sunrise, Little Mouse and the cat were the very best of friends. Little Mouse had been wrong. The cat wasn't all that frightening.
After the story,
She was the friendliest cat any mouse could wish to meet. Unfortunately, the farmer's wife didn't share this view of mice. She screamed and screamed and screamed.
Why she screamed?
Because she's not paying attention.
She saw the mouse in the house.
Can you listen so you know what's going on in the story?
Humans are frightened of mice, explained the cat. That's why they make such a fuss. But what about the farmer's wife cutting off our tails with a carving knife? Asked the little mouse. Oh, that's just a silly story, laughed the cat. But I think it's probably safer if you're only coming to the farmhouse when everyone else has gone to bed, the cat said, smiling.
Wow.
From that day on, Little Mouse never went hungry. Every day, the cat would leave little scraps of cheese inside his mouse hole in the barn. And every night, when everyone else was asleep, Little Mouse would creep into the farmhouse and warm himself beside the fire with his new best friend. Aw, they're really good friends, aren't they?